Guys, this is Noni Matikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the Makimbi statement. There is something that is weirdly not making sense there. You know, Ugeninda has spoken a lot in this courtroom of Jadrata. As a result, we are having trust issues when it comes to him because he lies. Oh, the guy can lie. Okay, I don't care who says what. Mugai, you can lie. That you can do. Like you are exceptional when it comes to lying. So, ladies and gentlemen, something is brewing in the Senzo Meda trial. And if it unfolds the way many observers suspect, it might, or we could be heading toward one of the most explosive courtroom confrontations yet. The issue evolves around one man, Qiniselani Makimbi Buthelezi. And the question is simple. Did Makimbi ever give a statement? Because the reason I'm asking that is something that was said by Lieutenant Khumalo during his testimony previously. I think it's not last week, ne? Yeah, last week, ne? Yes, last week was his time. Last week, what's this man's Lieutenant Khumalo, Lieutenant Khumalo, yes, Lieutenant Khumalo, during the arrest, told us that during the arrest of the Nongoma case 163 of 2018, when Makimbi was arrested for possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition, when Khumalo approached him as an IO, investigating official or officer, to obtain a statement, what happened? According to Khumalo's testimony, Makimbi refused to give them a statement, to give him or other person a statement, told him and others that I'm not going to be doing that. I'll rather go and do my statement in court in front of the magistrates. That is what apparently Makimbi said to police that arrested him on the act with an unlicensed firearm. Now, look at that and look at where Gininda found Makimbi in prison, Qalakabusha. In prison, Qalakabusha, and while he was in Qalakabusha prison, he goes there, finds Makimbi, this is Gininda now, and speak to him, says whatever he says to him. I don't know who Gininda went to first, Makimbi or Buthelezi. I don't know, not quite sure. And do you know what's so sad about this? Makimbi and Marco are related, and Simpiwe they are brothers. And yet, Gininda, through this entire investigation, was going to a family. Hey, he went for a family tree, Sana. He went for a family tree because of this so-called investigation of his. Now, not only did he refuse, but Khumalo told the court that, like now we're going back to what Khumalo said in testimony. Now, Khumalo told the court, not only did Makimbi refuse, guys, I want you to put that here. Click it, ne? Clock it, make it click in your head. Not only did he refuse, but Makimbi told them that the court will be the one where he makes his statement. He would not be providing any statement to no police officers. He would rather speak in court. He was like, I'm not talking to you police people. Makimbi knew his rights. He's the man that knew his rights. I'm telling you. Makimbi knew his rights. Now, if that evidence is accepted as accurate, then a serious question immediately arises. If Makimbi refused to make a statement in 2018, where does this alleged statement that Brigadier Gininda has been referring to come from? When was it made? Who took it? Who witnessed it? What was it signed? Was it an affidavit? Was it recorded? Was an interpreter present? Was it read back to Makimbi? Most importantly, can Makimbi confirm under oath that he actually made it? These are not minor questions, Gesan. These are fundamental questions because in a criminal trial, a document does not become reliable because someone says it exists. No. I know Judge Rata trusts Gininda so much, but it trusts that Judge Rata does not supersede the law. It doesn't. The court must know whether it came from, where it came from, or whether it is authentic. Now imagine the following scenario. Makimbi takes the witness stand. The state produces a statement. Then Makimbi says, that is not my statement. What happens next? What happens next? Suddenly, the focus shifts away from Makimbi directly onto the people who are trying to rely on that document. The court would have to examine the entire history of the statement, who created it, who handled it, who stored it, who introduced it, who verified it. And if those answers are not convincing, the defense will have a field day. Oh, the defense will have a field day. But there's another problem, a much bigger one. The state's position regarding accused number one's alleged confession has always been that he voluntarily confessed, voluntarily. Nobody forced him. Nobody prompted him. Nobody suggested names to him. That is the state position, right? But if that is true, then why would he supposedly provide names that have become so controversial? Make it make sense? Why would he allegedly identify people using nicknames, aliases, or names that have generated confusion years later? Why not provide full details or identities of Abo Makimbi? Because now we are finding out who Makimbi's ID name is Qaniselani Beki Ntonton Buthelezi. I'm sure Marco had his other names also, Ban Buthelezi. Now, what does that say about Gininda? Why not provide details that could be independently verified? Why would a person who is voluntarily confessing create uncertainty instead of clarity? That is a question many trial observers continue to ask, including me. Because the strength of any confession depends on its reliability. The more inconsistencies appear around names, identities, timelines, and supporting evidence, the more scrutiny that confession attracts. Because if Sibiya knows Makimbi, why would he say Makimbi and Marco? What are their real names? Why didn't he give their full details? About Gininda. And that scrutiny becomes even more intense if another witness later disputes the very information contained in it. This is why many people are now waiting to see whether Makimbi will eventually testify, not because his testimony will automatically destroy anyone's case. No, that's not what we are saying. Not because his testimony will automatically save anyone's case. That's not what we are saying. But because his testimony may answer questions that have been hanging over this trial for years. Questions about statements, questions about confessions, questions about names, questions about investigation itself, questions about how certain pieces of evidence found their way into the docket. If Makimbi confirms the statement, that will be one thing. If he denies the statement, that will be another. Either way, the court will need answers. And if those answers are not forthcoming, the controversy surrounding the investigation will only grow louder, because already, Jay, it's giving. Did you investigate to begin with? The Senzo Meyiwa trial has already produced disputes over confessions, witness statements, police procedures, and investigative decision. Now, the alleged Makimbi statement could become the next major battleground. The question is no longer whether the document exists. The real question is, can it withstand scrutiny when challenged under oath in open court? Because when that witness box door opens, documents stop speaking for themselves, witnesses do. And that may be where the real fight begins. So what are you hoping for today? I am hoping Makimbi takes the witness box. I am hoping that Makimbi tells us exactly what's going to happen. I am happy, what happened with Simpiwe, with the so-called confessions, with the visit from Gininda, all of that, Shende, I want to hear from you now. I'm one of those people that are like, I'm waiting for you, Makimbi, tell us more. What happened? What are you expecting to happen? Okay, even if Makimbi does not in the morning, you take the witness box. Maybe they are still consulting. I don't know. But what I do know is that uMaKimba, when he takes the stand, it's going to rain bombs, fireworks, all of that. It's going to come blazing. What are your expectations? I want to speak to you. I want us to have a discussion. The comment section, please tell me. Write it down. What's happening? What are you feeling where you are? Thank you so much. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.